In this video, we're counting down the top 10 characters in Marvel Strike Force. Some of these characters are pretty pay to win, but if you manage to get your hands on gold stars for these characters, these are who you should be building up. So if you're ready to see who is the best characters that you should be building in Marvel Strike Force right now, you know what to do. Find that like button and let's go smash it!
ValleyFlyin.
Hello, Valley Maniacs. What is up? Welcome back to the channel. I am ValleyFlyin. Welcome back to the ValleyFlyin channel. Hope you're having a great day. If this is your first time here, hit that subscribe button for more great Marvel Strike Force content. We got at least 5 Marvel Strike Force videos per week on this channel. And if you are back, welcome back to the channel. In this video, we are counting down the top 10 pay to win, aka unfarmable characters in Marvel Strike Force. Now, this is a very subjective list. If these characters were missing from my roster, they would be the most painful to replace. So if you're a newer player, mid-game player, don't have access to some of these characters yet, well, these are the characters you should be striving for, at least in today's meta. They may change in a couple months, but at least in today's meta, these are the characters that you should be building. And if you're an endgame player, hopefully you already have these characters unlocked because they are required for the endgame right now. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at who is eligible for this list, and these are our unfarmable characters right now. So if they are a permanent legendary, they are not eligible for this list. Yes, all these good characters are eligible. Dark Dimension characters are eligible, unfarmable characters only in a node. So basically, if they have a store, if they're available in a store, if they're available in a node, or if they're a permanent legendary and they're not Hulk and Wolverine that are available in the milestones and achievements, well, basically, all these characters that you see on the screen are eligible for this list. So if there's a really good character that you can farm, well, they're not going to be eligible for this list. So these are the who is eligible. Let's clear this list off right now and get to the countdown. So the list is cleared off. Let's get to the countdown. Now, this countdown is not just based on how good the character is. It's based on their kit, obviously. They have to have a good kit, but also their versatility in multiple game modes. And the way I rate these game modes, obviously for me, Arena is the top one because that is where you can get your power cores. It may be a little different for you, so your ratings might be a little different for these characters. Doom Rays are also important. War offense, war defense, and Crucible offense and Crucible defense are also in there somewhere. So that is where I rate these modes. Arena, Raids, then War, then Crucible, although you may be switching Crucible with War. And then all of them are going to be available, very good in Tower, and probably all good in Dark Dimension as well. Any Dark Dimensions you could bring them into. So let's get with this list and start with this countdown. Coming in at number 10 this month. Boom, it is the first time that she's been on this list and kind of makes this list by default because of some of the versatility that she has right now. Emma Frost coming in at the number 10 spot. Available in those milestone orbs that you get, just seasonal milestone orbs. And you can get the character shards there. Some might consider her farmable because you get so many shards, but she is in the arena meta right now because of her passive and that speed bar reduction. Also very valuable in war defense. The Marauders just got a rework, so they're a little beefier than they were before. I still see her sometimes in Crucible, but the reason she is on this list is because she is in the arena meta right now. Let's go take a look at her kit, see what T4s I would recommend for her. And as far as Iso-8, the most popular class on MSF.GG, by far is the healer class with 76% of users with that healer class. She has a good passive, but I don't know if you need a T4. It's only gonna help her in war defense. So if war defense is something important to you, you can do this passive. If it's not, you could totally skip this passive and not lose anything. This minus 10% speed on all enemies, you don't need a T4 for that. But her ultimate and special are very good. Her ultimate, the T4, clears all positive effects on all enemies instead of just 3. So this is a very good one. Mind control 2 enemy characters instead of just 1 enemy character and more damage for those enemies. So I think just with it clearing all positive effects off of all enemies instead of just 3 makes it a very good one. And then this is also a very, very good one as well. Clearing off all negative effects from self and all allies instead of just 3 negative effects. And then immunity and self and mutant villain allies. So this is a very good one. I recommend both of those T4s. And like I said, some people might consider her farmable. I don't, just for the rules of this. But you can get a lot of valuable shards for Emma Frost in those milestone orbs. Let's continue on with the countdown. Coming in at the number 9 spot from this this month. And also a new character this month is AGATHA HARKNESS, coming in at the number 9 spot. She is not farmable, only available in the orbs right now, and it took a long time to get into those premium and ultimates and the rest of those orbs, but she is in there right now, and because she's a Darkhold member, she is in the arena meta right now, although hybrid teams seem to be dominating offense and defense, especially with Rogue coming into the mix. But the Darkhold team's still valuable on arena, on war defense, war offense, valuable in Crucible offense, Crucible defense, and you could sort of use her in a raid, sort of use her in Dark Dimension, but she's really shining right now in the non-hybrid teams and this Darkhold team. Let's go take a look at her kit, see why she is so valuable, such a good character in the game. A few T4 recommendations, but as far as the Iso-8 recommendations for AGATHA, 86% of users have that skirmisher tag equipped on her. And there's really 2 really good T4s that you could do for her. Now this is a wall of text for a passive, but what the T4 is gonna do gives her and the Darkhold allies more drain. This is gonna help with their survivability, help with their sustainability in arena or whatever game mode you're using her for. This is a very long cooldown, so you may wanna save this, but if you got a lot of T4s, this is a very strong move. 20% of these characters max health as barrier, applying stun to the highest damage hero, mystic blaster, and hero mystic controller enemies. So those stuns are gonna come in very, very key, depending on what game mode you're in. But yeah, especially if you're trying to counter the Eternals or some other Mystic Hero Blasters, Mystic Hero Controllers, yeah, you need this. These other ones are pretty good. The basic is okay, the special is okay, pretty much just damage on all those, but she's a very, very good character, and I highly recommend building up AGATHA HARKNESS, and like I said, you can get her in the orbs right now. Unfortunately, not a good way to farm her out. Let's move on to the number 8 spot, and dropping 5 spots from last month, not because she's a bad character, just because of the use of the Eternals, and Cersei has dropped a little bit. Still very valuable in arenas in some of these hybrid Eternals teams, valuable in the raids. I use her every day in the Mystic section of Doom 2, probably still going to be using her in Doom 3, those Mystic sections, but very good character with the new warriors there. Also valuable in war offense, war defense. I think the Eternals are a little more valuable in offense, so you could control them. Same thing with Crucible, but she's a very good character for Dark Dimension Cosmic section if you aren't in there yet. As far as T4 recommendations, overwhelming class on MSF.GG is Skirmisher class with 94% of users with that Skirmisher class, and she's got 3 really good T4s. Her passive helps her max health and Icarus, more focus for her and Icarus. That is key for both of them. More damage on this big AoE attack, speed up for 2 turns instead of just 1 turn, and 2 ability energy instead of just 1 to 2 ability energies. So this is very good. Only affects the arena though, but this is a very good one, especially that 4-turn cooldown. Adding that damage affects all game modes. Her special, this is her big stun, more damage for called enemies, 10% of this character's max health for self and Icarus, and more health for barrier for them. So very, very good move. You can do this basic as well. I don't know if you really need a T4 on it, but she's a very good character. Still involved in the meta, still involved in an arena meta, even though Darkhold has her time to shine. So very good character, and I highly recommend building her if you could get those shards for her, and is a good candidate for some red star upgrades as well. Let's move on though. She is a very good character. She is only in the orbs right now, although the word is she should be farmable very, very soon. Let's move on. Number 7 spot, no change from last month, and it is Kestrel. Kestrel, one of the better characters in the game, losing a little value just because of the versatility of the game mode that she's in. Not really in the arena meta anymore, but still is very valuable in 2 sections of the Doom raids, the skill section and the tech section. I don't know if you could do the tech section right now without her. You can in the next update with his Gamma team coming, but right now Kestrel is so valuable for that. Also valuable in war. Not as versatile as she was the last time we did this list back in April, but the Secret Avengers still are a thing, and Kestrel with her ability to just delete summons and delete clone characters, makes her still a valuable counter to those Marauders. She is only available in orbs, in those premium orbs exclusive characters. And as far as T4 recommendations, there's a lot of them. Let's go to msf.gg and just talk about all of them, because pretty much you should be T4ing all of her skills. More healing on her on turn. Every turn she's going 20% healing instead of 10 with this T4 on the passive there. Negative effects removed, getting even more healing, more damage to the most injured enemy, and that is where their pings here. If you're during a turn, enemy is attacked with defense down, you're going to attack the most injured enemy for 300. That goes up to 400% damage with this, and more max health for Nick Fury. This ultimate, more piercing damage. Defense down for 2 turns makes it so valuable, and you already got a lot of piercing damage on this. Increasing that just increases damage a ton. You got a big special here. This is probably my favorite move. Defense down, not just for 1 turn to all the adjacent allies, but 2 turns, so that is very good. Immunity for 2 turns for self is very good. More damage is also good. And then this basic, very strong, especially because you're probably gonna have the striker class on her. 89% of users have that striker class on her, so getting extra pings from this basic here is helping. It's not going to help her passive, but it will help her assist and counter chance. Defense down for 2 turns to primary and secondary targets. So very, very good. If you want to farm her, like I said, she is in the orbs, and she's a very good character for Dark Dimension in that cosmic section. So you could still use her all around. She is losing valuable, but still is one of the best characters in the game. Let's move on to that number 6 spot. We're getting into some really good characters here. Moving down, though, 2 spots from last month is Icarus. Now, the reason I have Icarus above Cersei this month is, although Cersei is still a better standalone character, Icarus and what he does to Dormammu, flipping that immunity on him on turn 1 is super huge. It can make a difference in a lot of fights. So for that reason, I valued Icarus a little bit more than Cersei, although this is very, very close between all 3 of these characters right here. Icarus, unfortunately, is only available in the orbs right now, so not a good way to farm him, but still involved in that arena meta, still involved in that raid meta right now in the Mystic section of Doom, still involved in war, and like Cersei, you're probably going to use him more on offense than on defense, and he was a value in both of the past Scourge events. Still want to get that cosmic use him in Dark Dimension Cosmic because he's such a good character and has such a strong kit. Okay, let's go take a look at his kit though. See what T4s, if any, I would recommend on him. And we got 3, or actually 2 big ones. The ultimate, you could skip. It just gives armor and resistance. Those are probably the least valuable base stats there, but big damage on this. 100% more damage on all attacks. This is a big one. Not just once. If you get a kill, you're gonna do this twice. So you're getting 400% damage, 2 attacks, that is big. If Cersei has an ally, and you probably want to get them allied, you know, in arena you're doing that, in the Doom raids you're flipping all positive effects and negative effects on each enemy, which is big. That is big, 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 because you're not doing that to Dormammu if you don't have Cersei. So I guess Cersei's still valuable, but Icarus is the one that actually does the move for Dormammu here. And then this is a good one as well. 80% damage to primary and secondary targets, 60% piercing on all bonus attacks, and always getting assists from a random ally. This is this big one that is getting those 2 death proofs. So also getting more damage and doing that stuff is very, very good for Icarus. And very good character. Like I said, Striker is the prevailing class on him. There's a few good T4s that you could do on him, but yeah, very, very good character. Let's continue on with the list. Coming at the number 5 spot this month is our boy Dr. Doom, falling 4 spots from last month. And again, he didn't change. The meta kind of changed, which is why he's falling. There's some other characters that are still pretty good. Not a common arena character nowadays, but I still see him in arena. He's still annoying on some of these defensive teams. I don't really use him on offense too much anymore, but I do use him on offense every single day in the tech section of the raids. Also very good for war. People can place him on war offense, war defense. Same thing with Scourge, Scourge offense, Scourge defense. So still very, very important. And if you haven't unlocked Phoenix yet, he is a villain mystic controller. So you could use him to unlock Phoenix. Let's go take a look at his kit, see why he is so valuable. And unfortunately, if you've beaten Dark Dimension 4, you got a lot of T4s to do for Dr. Doom. So more speed bar, and basically if you don't do these, if you don't do the ultimate and you don't do these passive, the T4s, his big blow up is not going to work correctly. So you're getting the 100% speed bar with this. You're getting more Doombots with their passive ability. You're getting more max health with a passive. You need those. You're getting the 2 charge, so he's going to be able to do his big nuke on the end of that ultimate there, and filling speed bar by 100%. You're not going to get that 100% speed bar when you do this without the T4, so you need that T4 for his big thing to work. This is the big blow up move. You want more damage and more damage per Doombot allies, so highly recommended for the special. And this is a very strong basic as well, especially when he's charged, because you're flipping 2 positive effects to negative effects. When he's not charged, you're not doing that, but this is a strong one, and just for when you use that ultimate, giving him that charge, you want to have this basic done. So very, very good character. I recommend all of those T4s. Striker is the most popular class because this is a very good basic there. 96% of users on MSF.GG have that Striker class attack equipped. So let's move on. Coming in at number 4 this month, moving up 4 spots from last month, is Omega Red. Very, very good character. He's in luck with his legendary event. You need the Secret Avengers, you need Fury, you need Winter Soldier, and you can get one of the best characters in the game right now. Highly valuable for War, the best War offense team. I know some people are placing Weapon X on War defense, but they are the best War offense team right now. Using him in the raids and replacing some of those nodes for Kitty Pryde, especially that last node, although Rogue may just be replacing Omega Red in those raids right now as the 5th, or the de facto 5th Axeman on that team. And yeah, using him as Scourge as well, and then also using him in both of the Scourges for Rogue and Morgan Le Fay, but also very good character for Crucible, is part of some of the best counters with Weapon X. Striker is the best class for Omega Red, so let's go take a look at his abilities, and he's got a lot of good ones as well. So get your T4s ready for Omega Red. You don't have to do his basic. It's a pretty good basic, stealing 5% of max health. Almost 80% of users have this, more damage than the primary targets, and you're probably going to equip Striker on Omega Red, so this is a good one to increase the damage for that. This is not very necessary. This is a very important move, but the T4 in this move, not super important. All it really does is a little more damage, so you don't need to T4 this one either, but I would highly recommend T4ing his passive right there, giving him more max health, more Weapon X allies are going to lower the enemy damage by 15%, and Weapon X allies get more max health. This will be important for trying to counter Misty Knight, making sure that Sabretooth has the additional max health and not just Omega Red there. Flipping all positive effects instead of 3. This is huge. This move is not as good if you're only flipping 3 positive effects, and more damage is also good. You're also getting that trauma here. That's not by the T4, but this is a very good move. So Omega Red, a lot of great characters. Striker, like I said, is the most popular class for him. 93% of users have Striker, and if you want to unlock him, he is unlocked via a legendary event. Let's move back to the list here, continuing with the countdown. Coming in at number 3 spot this month is the newest character on this list. It is Rogue, and I have used her in Arena, replacing Dormammu. Works very well. Yeah, she is replacing Dormammu in Arena and works very well on offense. Haven't tried to use her on defense though, but very, very good character. Crucible, this is a Crucible team. She's on a Crucible team. The Unlimited X-Men are the Crucible team, so she's gonna dominate in that game mode. Also very good for War. I tried to punch up significantly with these Unlimited X-Men characters. They were not built against a hero as Guardians, which were also not built, but pretty much Rogue just handled that battle because my Unlimited X-Men are not built up. It was just Rogue versus the rest of them, and Rogue took out the hero as Guardian. So very, very impressive there. Also, like I said, Arena, War, they're going to be very good. And for maybe one node in the raids, probably the boss node in the raids, the Mutant Doom raids, she is a very good character. What really impressed me was her value in War and Arena though. Let's go take a look at her kit and see why she is so valuable. And most people have Striker on Rogue. And as far as her T4s, this is a very good one. Her special. Applying trauma to the primary targets for 2 turns, reducing speed bar of the target by 25%, getting safeguard for 2 turns, filling speed bar by 25%. This is a strong, strong opening move right here. I highly recommend this T4 on her special. 65% of users have the T4 on the ultimate. It's getting more damage than primary, secondary attacks, copy and clearing 2 positive effects from each enemy. So that is good. Instead of just capping and clearing 2 random positive effects from 3 random enemies, you're doing it for all of the random enemies. So it's a good thing there. And then the ultimate, or excuse me, the passive there, on spawn defense up for 2 turns, more drain for unlimited X-Men allies and for herself. So it's a very, very actually more drain for herself per unlimited X-Men allies. So very good character, useful in many, many game modes. Like I said, Striker is the most important, is the most popular class for Rogue. But I highly recommend unlocking her if you don't have her now. Whenever her next event comes around again, make sure you get your Young Avengers built up, because those are the key to unlocking Rogue. All right, let's move on to the next character on the list, counting this down, and it is the other Scourge character, Morgan Le Fay. You can unlock her in her Scourge event. She moved up 4 spots from last month, still valuable in Arena, in War, Crucible. And I'm not using her as much in the raids, but is a very good option for the raids in the Mystic section. If for some reason you're simming your Eternals and New Warriors and they happen to die, MILF is a very good backup for that. Let's go into MSF.GG and take a look at her kit, see why she is so valuable. She's got a lot of T4s that you could upgrade. Her basic is very good, stealing 5% of the max health, and with that Striker on there, you want more stealing from the primary target to herself. Her passive is, her special is also very good, clearing all positive effects from all enemies instead of 2 random positive effects. That is a very good one. Speed up for 2 turns, so helping her as well. And it looks like with the Gear 8 for this character, the T5 for this character, you're gonna get even more speed. Her ultimate there, extra crit chance, applying trauma and ability block to all controller enemies. This is what makes that move tick. Doesn't get more damage. I guess you could with more crit chance, but the trauma and ability block to all controllers is very, very good. And her passive is also a good one. Enemy turn, fill speed by 10% for self and all Dark Code allies. Dark Code allies all gain 30% max health. So I recommend T4ing all of those abilities. All of them are very good. Striker is very popular for her. Although Raider is another important class for her, I know that I'm using Skirmisher though, because I want to make sure that all of her debuffs land. And sometimes against a very, very high resistance Morgan Le Fay, those debuffs are not landing. So I use Skirmisher on her, but Raider is good. Striker is good. I guess it depends on where your MILF is and what you need for that character. Let's continue on with the countdown, and I guess I think you can guess who the last character is. Coming in number 1 this month is Dormammu, and the reason I rate Dormammu so highly, I see him in Arena. Anytime you see him on War defense or Crucible defense, that is probably going to be a 2-tap unless you're breaking up a few teams. So he is very valuable and has changed Crucible and changed War, at least for me. It can be valuable in the raids if your Eternals and New Warriors die, kind of like MILF as a backup section for that Doom raids. If you could use him in any Greek section, though, he's going to be very, very good. Now, he has a couple different Iso-8 classes that is very popular on MSF.GG. Let's go take a look at his kit and the Iso-8 discussion here. So basic, very good. 60% damage to all enemies. Remember, the baseline from before was a 50% damage for a T4. This is above that, but the main thing it's doing is filling speed bar by 60%. He's getting a lot of speed there. His special, also very good. Trauma for 2 turns instead of trauma for 1 turn. 50% more damage, that is fine, but gaining 3 charge. So that is gonna help him immensely. More piercing for all enemies, and that is good on an AoE attack. Offense down, defense down, slow, offense up, defense up, speed up for 2 turns each, and you're applying that, and yeah, that's wrecking your enemies. The big thing that he does, though, it is not related to any of his T4s, is if his health is full at the start of the match, and this character is not a clone, all allies gain revive once with 40% of their character's max health. So very strong. This is why a lot of times you want to 2-tap. Zemo is good for 2-tapping him, but again, like I said, he's changed War and changed Crucible for me because of that move. The passive, he's getting more max health on spawn and on turn. If he has more than 4 allies with revive once, gaining immunity for 2 turns. This is so annoying when you're trying to kill him and he has that immunity. You can't land any debuffs or ability blocks on him. This is a rough one. So all of his moves are recommended. Striker seems to be the most important class with this strong basic, but Raider is another good one with all the AoE attacks that he does. He has a lot of AoE on, or he has an AoE even on his basic here. So Raider, you can make the argument for that, getting more crit chance. You could unlock Dormammu, of course, by completing Dark Dimension 5. So not an easy unlock, but is a very, very good character. Now, I did want to mention some honorable mentions for this list. Some farmable characters that probably would have been on this list if they were eligible, but just for consistency's sake with the other free-to-play list, wanted to make them not eligible. For Shang-Chi, definitely would have been on this list if he was eligible, so don't sleep on him. Farm him right away. Squirrel Girl's another good character. We just got done with Scourge, so there may be some recency bias in my mind for Squirrel Girl, but still a very good character there. You could use her when Scourge comes back and in multiple game modes, not just War Defense. Lady Deathstrike, also a good character, but she is going to be losing value because of the new tech grade team coming. And she's still going to be a good war offense character. And other characters, though, that I do want to recommend, 2 Darkhold characters. You still can't get shards for them, but if you can, build them up. Heartless, Doctor Strange, and Wong. I think Wong is a little more important than Heartless, but Heartless is important as well. And that is it. Let me know what you thought of this list. Let me know if it aligned with where you value these game modes and these characters. Do want to have some discussion. So if you don't agree with me, let me know in the comments. If you do agree with me, let me know in the comments, and I'll see you guys next time. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button for more Marvel Strike Force content. Hit that notification bell so you know as soon as a new video goes up. Check out some of the sponsors down below. Amazon coins. TeePublic is where you can get a lot of these Valley merch. And of course, check me out on Twitter because I'm on there for all the latest updates. I can react a lot quicker on Twitter than I can in a YouTube video. So that is it for now. Hope you have a great rest of your day. Give me that Hulk fist bump before you go. And stay hydrated, my friends. ValleyFlyin out.